What's up, dudes? Happy Friday. It is January 15th, our last day before we come back to school, so that is super exciting. Um, Today we are doing our IB assessment, right? You guys have your first one of the new semester, so it's super important that we give 100% on this. We give our best effort. Show me what you know, right? And don't forget, you have all the resources at your fingertips to kind of refresh your memory, help you out if you do need some help, right? So let's just take a kind of a quick review of what we did this week. So we learned about 3 relationships within nature. We called them symbiotic relationships. We also called that symbiosis. And we broke that word down where we said that sim, right, was bringing things together, like synchrony or I'm having a brain fart. Let's just say like synchrony, right? We're bringing it together. And then bio is life, right? So symbiosis, we're bringing life together. So how things in nature are living together, okay? We said that this is plants and animals, okay? It's not just animals. It's not just plants. It's fungus. It's bacteria. It's everything that's alive, okay? So that's super important. And when we think about certain relationships, we tend to think more about the viruses and the bacteria and the fungus and the gross stuff, and that's usually with parasitism. But with commensalism and mutualism, sometimes we forget about that other stuff being involved. So it's important to remember that these symbiotic relationships are all relationships involving life in nature. Okay, so let's kind of review the 3 that we learned. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is commensalism. And we said that commensalism is when one species benefits, okay, and the other species is neutral. They're not helped and they're not hurt. Okay, so in this example, these small fish are not enough of a snack for this big shark. Okay, so the shark's not going to waste its energy eating these things. And these things have realized that if they hang out with this shark, for one, they don't have many predators anymore, right? Because sharks are the king of the ocean. So, queen of the ocean. Okay, so these little fish, they're not going to get eaten, and they're not going to have predators chasing them around. Okay, and now they also don't have to work as hard for food because when this shark tears apart another big fish, they can kind of just hang out and wait, and then they can eat the scraps. Okay, so this relationship, these fish, the small fish, are benefiting. And the shark doesn't care. It's not like they're hurting the shark. It's not like they're helping the shark. Okay? This one is super cool. I like this picture because it's super pretty, right? It's a beautiful picture. Right here we have a deer, a caribou, right? It happens in several different species of creatures with antlers. And we have a spider, right? And looking at that, it is so wild to think that, oh my goodness, like those are 2 different species that have just found this perfect harmony of living together. But the deer, the sheep, the caribou, whatever creature it is with the horns, doesn't care because this spider is not hurting it at all, right? It's not like they're blocking the Wi-Fi signal from their antennas, right? It's not what the horns are for. Okay, so the spider might put itself in some risk, maybe if the deer, the antler, the deer, the caribou, whatever, maybe they get territorial or it's mating season and now there's some fighting and they're ramming heads. That spider might get tossed off and have to go find a new home, right? But in the meantime, that deer, whatever's running around, it's prancing around, it's digging up grass. What's happening in that spider web? Bugs are getting kicked up there. Right? So this spider's just having a feeding frenzy, and it's not really having to do a whole lot of work, right? It can kind of just hang out, let this deer run around, dig around in the dirt, and it's just giving it free food, okay? So the spider's getting a benefit, and the deer is neutral, okay? It doesn't care. It's not like the spider's like, here, bro, have a bug. You look hungry, right? Because that's not what they eat. All right, moving on to mutualism. Mutualism is where both species benefit, right? It's mutual, okay? So in this case, we have a butterfly, and we have a flower. It looks like maybe some lavender or something, okay? So in this case, the butterfly is using the flower for food, right? The butterfly is eating, getting that nectar, but at the same time, that flower needs a way to get that pollen spread, right? So this butterfly is collecting pollen on its back legs, its wings, and the next time it lands on another flower, it's spreading the pollen for that lavender, okay? So the butterfly is benefiting getting food. The flower is benefiting by spreading its genetic material to make more flowers, okay? Here's a cool example. These ones have a mutualistic relationship in kind of a couple ways, right? In one of the videos that you watched, the shrimp will kind of like make burrows and help the eel. And then the eel will kind of like give it a heads up, like, hey, dude, you got danger coming, like, let's go hide. These one are cleaner shrimp, where these shrimp will actually creep around in the eel's like mouth and teeth and pick out parasites, things like that. So the shrimp is getting free food. The eel is getting rid of parasites, getting rid of like decaying food in its mouth, whatever. And at the same time, like that shrimp's not a huge meal, right? So you think about like, why doesn't the eel just eat them? Well, for one, that eel is going to lose its dentist. And for two, like it's not that huge of a snack, right? Like if you had one piece of popcorn that if you just let sit in your mouth for a minute, it would clean your teeth completely. Would you eat that piece of popcorn? Like, I don't know. I'd rather just go make my own bag of popcorn because there's more of it, right? Or get another food source. Right, so that small amount of thing is providing such a benefit for the eel doesn't eat it. Okay, let's look at another one. This one's super gross. These fish, it's a parasite. It kind of like gives me the heebie-jeebies just looking at it. It replaces the tongue of the fish. Okay, so the way the fish actually ends up dying is by it starving to death. This parasite like eats the tongue away of the fish and then replaces the tongue in the fish's mouth. And then when food sources come in, that tick, that parasite, just eats it. Okay? So right here, we have a parasite benefiting, that tick eating all the food, eating the tongue, and that fish is losing. Okay? So parasitism, sorry, I kind of jumped it. I forgot we only had 2 pictures of each. Parasitism is where one is helped, one is hurt. So in this case, that parasite is like, yeah, dude, this is awesome. I love it in here. I have a great home. And that fish is like, dude, my tongue hurts and I'm starving to death, right? So a good example of parasitism. And then another gnarly one. This is a tomato hornworm. So if you have a garden at home, you may have seen these. They creep around on tomatoes and stuff. These suckers are gnarly on their own, but they get a parasite that is actually transmitted from wasps. It's a parasitic wasp. And the hornworm will have these things just like grow out of it. It's absolutely disgusting. There's also a few species that are fungi based, so they come from a fungus. But this one I believe is from the parasitic wasp. And it's just awful. So you think about it, this thing gets stung or ingests this parasite somehow, and then this parasite basically just grows out and erupts from its back. So the parasite is just living its best life, having a great time, right? And that caterpillar, not so much. Like that is not a good day. That's not how I want to spend my Friday. Okay? So remember, parasitism, 1 benefits, 1 hurt. Okay? So let's review really quick. Commensalism. 1 benefits, 1 doesn't care. Cool? Mutualism. Both benefit. Good. Parasitism, 1 benefits, 1 is hurt. Okay, your guys' assignment today is the IB assessment. Okay, I want you guys to find 2 of your examples that aren't straight from my videos, aren't straight from what I've said. There's plenty of them, right? Like you have a mutualistic relationship with an animal if you have a pet at home, right? Hopefully it's mutual. But like assuming that you can look out the window, right? And somebody walks by with a dog, a bird lands in a tree, a butterfly flies by a flower, probably not right now because it's cold in wintertime, right? But like you are seeing these relationships in nature, okay? So I only want 1 to be directly from something I've said. I want you to come up with a couple on your own, but your assignment is to give me 3 sets of species, okay? And I want you to tell me how they are a symbiotic relationship in nature. So one of them could be a human and a dog, right? And you could say that's mutualism because the human takes care of the dog, is protection for the human, is loving for the human, whatever. So, and then find me parasitism, find me commensalism. Okay? So that's your assignment today. From all the videos that we've had this week, the assignments we've had this week, you have plenty of information. But please, 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 if you watch this, you still need some help, you want to chat, whatever, drop me a message, post into Teams. I am here to help. We also have a live class today, so hopefully you tuned in for that and you are watching this after. But I think that's it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And for those of you that are coming back to school next week, I will see you on Tuesday. I will see you on Wednesday. For everybody else, I will see you in the digital world. All right. Peace out, my friends. Love you guys. Have a great day.